It is so blatant. His motivation is clear. It is just pure narcissism. He is just like possibly a clinical narcissist. Now, obviously, I've got no way of knowing that. I've got no way of diagnosing. I don't know that much about psychology, but I'm pretty sure PirateSoftware is a clinical narcissist. Okay, I'm pretty certain. I'd say we're pretty much at the moral scandal point.
Even though it's
See, very awesome, very based from Card.
over something that is
Reveling in other people's misery. Awesome.
PirateSoftware situation.
Yeah, I do hate people for being successful when they suck. Problem? Yeah, I do. I just don't like this guy, and he got really rich.
And I really enjoy seeing these types of people fail. Frankly, I hope that this somehow ruins him.
Let's watch this PirateSoftware video. Let's see this one.
We're going to take you to court. You're going to
20-minute video about PirateSoftware. PirateSoftware, the finding out timeline. Okay. Let's go private parts.
lose. So I'm going to send this over to Kronos now because he is a lawyer in copyright law. That is his job. Welcome to the finding out timeline, bud.
Hello, future lolcow here. Full timeline breakdown. I started making idle streaming Bonanza roughly a year ago. I wanted to make an idle/clicker game. I never made one before. I also decided on a theme, a lo-fi room where you could edit the room. I got drunk one night, was watching the infamous cookie debacle. I started making an animated short. I put a character from that short in my game, decided to switch it up. I myself laughing. Fast forward, started posting on Reddit. People didn't like it. Decided to double down. Waited for more drama. Doc happened. Added him. Tried posting on LSF. Mod said I needed to stream it first, then post. Kept working on the game, did Steam Next Fest, got little wish list, decided to drum up some business to get eyes on the game. PirateSoftware drama happens. He's unhinged, taking down YouTubers, decided to add it to my personal build, posted on Incremental and LSF. LSF Redditors, mixed bag of comments. Some liked it, some hated it. Reddit lawyers start yapping. PirateSoftware sees this and decides to DMCA the game. No reach out to communicate with me. Steam takes it down. I sent a counter notice explaining the content on Steam has no data with him in it. Doubles down on streams.
Okay, do we all know this story? Do we all know what's happening here? So this guy makes a parody cookie clicker game about idle streamers. Yeah, we're all saying, yeah, I'll just quickly explain that. I'll just quickly run through it quickly. Called Idle Streamers or something. And posts a clip of it to Livestream Fails that includes a Roach minigame that has voice lines from PirateSoftware. Now, this game is on Steam, and it's on this guy's website. The Steam version has not yet received the updated build that includes the PirateSoftware voice lines. However, the version on his website does include the PirateSoftware voice lines. Now, PirateSoftware, upon seeing this game, sends his apparent copyright lawyer, Kronos, to DMCA it on Steam for using his voice. However, that version of the game obviously does not include the voice lines. So it is a completely false DMCA. Now, the lawyer who is working for the game developer, pro bono, to try and reach a resolution with PirateSoftware, has been, like, talking to them and basically laid out, like, you know, not 50 different ways, but I'm going to say 50 just for the sake of being hyperbolic and explaining quickly. But 50 different ways in which they just totally fraudulently made this DMCA and all the different ways it was wrong. And they got totally owned, basically. So, PirateSoftware is looking very dumb. False DMCA, this small developer. Looking very bad, very stupid, because his ego got slighted again. Let's take a look.
He says he'll go to court. Kronos is an actual copyright lawyer.
Yeah. So after they realized that it wasn't using his voice lines, they switched to complaining about the roach being like his likeness or something. And that's not a DMCA-able issue. That's it's a completely different law. You would have to sue for misappropriation of likeness. You can't DMCA someone for misappropriating your likeness. That's purely for if someone repurposes your copyright material. But anyway, let's get into this.
Try to delete the VOD. I big brain. I recorded first. Got lawyer. Mario Cerami. He's GOAT. Pro bono GOAT. Here are the chat logs. Real quick, I am hosting a game jam. Roachware Jam 2025. Yeah. Come check it out. I got a DMCA on Steam. I want it removed. I received a DMCA on Steam with my indie game. It was taken down. There is no content even related to PirateSoftware on my game that is uploaded to Steam. Idle Streaming Bonanza was the game. The appropriate parties will reply to this ticket when available. Oh hey, is this the game that includes clips of Thor speaking in game? I saw the Reddit thread about this. Looks like you were warned by people on there about this exact outcome. Smiley face. It don't matter, the DMCA will get removed. Thor's voice is not in any content on Steam. Y'all jump.
So yeah, these are the chat logs. So this is where, I guess, Kronos, the claimed copyright lawyer of Pirate Software, is here trying to get this guy to basically take it down.
The gun on something that doesn't exist on Steam, so good job. We can and will file legal proceedings based on the use of the clip/voice. You are entirely able to voice act the lines yourself, and we would no longer have an issue with utilizing someone else's voice rather than Thor's. Would turn this from a copyright issue into a mere parody. You cannot call it a guest appearance, but sure, feel free to include the lines he spoke as an Easter egg, etc. Steam has kindly provided us with your personal information so that we can file the claim in the state of Florida. Why DMCA my Steam game when the issue you have is the Reddit post? The demo on Steam has no data or reference to him property. That's fine. I agree to it. Under Steam Terms of Service, we're able to file this DMCA for the game as it currently stands. Published builds display this content within the game. Whether or not it's a demo is irrelevant. You chose to publish that clip. Is that a published build? No. You published a clip of this game to this website, not a published build of the game, and clearly stated that Pirate Software was playable. You have published news about your game, about a build that doesn't exist on Steam. It is a build about which you published information, footage, or other details. All we're asking you to do is remove the clips, voiceovers, and replace them with your own voice acting. We are happy to make a filing, Mr. Ferrantino, but that seems like a waste of your time as well as ours. Then you could have asked instead of taking down the Steam game with no data or builds with the content related to Pirate Software. The build of the game is on my personal PC. We have a legal process we are due to follow, which includes making a report to...
So, like, yeah, they're doubling down. This retarded lawyer is doubling down on the idea of DMCAing Steam for content that was not present in the Steam build. Because, again, the DMCA is purely the only complaint they can make with this DMCA is about the voice lines that are taken from the clips. That is the only thing they could possibly attempt to DMCA here. Now, obviously, I think you have a pretty good fair use argument in the case of using those clips if you were to take this to court to see whether that was a correct use of their copyright or not. But even forgetting any of that, the thing they are trying to copyright strike is not in the build they're striking. Yet they're still doubling down. We have a legal process we are due to follow, which includes making a report to Steam. A report to Steam about what? The content isn't there, retard.
To Steam. False report. We're happy to retract the claim once those changes are made. What changes? The game never had them in. It is not a false report. As far as we are aware, based on the information you made public, Pirate Software was in the game and playable. Did you play the game on Steam? It meets the criteria for us to make a claim. It meets the criteria for us to bring a lawsuit. Did you play the game on Steam? But that seems like a waste of time for both of us when all we're asking you to do is not use recordings of Thor's voice. That is not remotely relevant to the matter at hand. The fact of the matter are that a build of your game contains content which is not yours. It is because the DMCA will be removed once the builds are shown that the content doesn't exist. So when you have edited the game to remove the content, there is nothing in the builds currently on Steam that is related to Thor. Do you plan to include anything in the future? Of parody, yes. Will you use his direct voice lines in the video, or will you voice act / replace them?
Oh, dude, this guy, sadly, this guy is kind of retarded, the developer guy. I mean, I understand it's kind of dumb to... I mean, I understand it's kind of difficult dealing with, like, legal threats and stuff, but... It's just like even dumber than Hellbent. First of all, don't even talk to this guy. That's the first thing. Second of all, certainly don't say stuff like, I don't like it, but I'll concede GG. Don't say shit like that to someone who's threatening you with legal shit. Never concede, just say like, interesting. Okay. Interesting. Just hit him with that. Hit him with that. Tell me more. Interesting. I see.
Right issue, the latter.
I understand your perspective.
Is parody. I don't like it, but I'll concede. GG. After looking more into it, even though the game itself is a parody, that should be transformative enough. Voice acting will be used as parody. Great, thanks for the confirmation. We have no issue at all with that from a legal perspective and appreciate the compromise. Honestly, props to you for making your own game. Even if I don't agree with some of the content, I know it's a cool thing to be doing, and it can take a lot of willpower and skill to do it. Props to you, and good luck with development further down the line.
I wonder if you have any actual comeback other than middle school comments and ad hominems. Dude, that has to be a troll comment.
Thanks. I feel like it should be protected under parody because it is criticizing.
Oh, no, it's not that Harley Quinn retard, is it? Okay. Well, reach join Discord if you've got disagreement. I'll just ban you.
A criticizing piece. Perhaps commentary added would suffice, no? Sadly not. Criticism does not equal parody. Nice docs, bud. Given your details are given in the DMCA, we'll be passing it into law enforcement officials and removing your access to the server. Good luck. The issue with this is Kronos is not an actual lawyer here in the United States. He is a lawyer in the UK. He does not know what he's talking about when he's talking about copyright law in the United States. Criticism and parody both meet the criteria for fair use. I am attempting to reach the attorney working under the handle Kronos. I sent him DMs some hours ago and I believe he hasn't seen them. This concerns an actual legal matter and I need to bring the messages to his attention. Hello, not an attorney, just to be clear. Oh, very well. I thought Mr. Hall represented a fellow named Kronos as an actual copyright attorney. Do you know whether Mr. Hall has counseled concerning the DMCA takedown? I imagine you were the same individual in the ticket.
Wait, so the Kronos guy isn't he not even a lawyer? Okay, yeah, nice one. I love you, dude. Chat's gonna drive me crazy. This kill notes fella. There is no such thing as misappropriation of likeness legal issue on NA for this. Bro, you can barely put a sentence together. Please do not even begin. I might not even disagree. But the fact I can't understand your message means I'm not even going to begin to consider your input on legal issues. You have demonstrated, purely by typing that you are far too fucking stupid to be engaging in this conversation. So please. Holy shit. Chat legal analysis. Leave it out. So is the Kronos guy a lawyer? He's not actually a lawyer. You're saying British lawyer, but I mean, we have solicitors, right? Is he a solicitor or not? He does some lawyery in the UK, at least that's what I heard. Okay, it's just not very clear because he's saying hello, not an attorney, just to be clear. I feel like you wouldn't... That seems like he's saying he's not like an attorney at all. Like, not even the UK equivalent, you know? That seems like what that's saying to me. Okay. I'm seeing some retarded shit in chat. Please do not say things that you don't know are true. There's a difference between lawyer and attorney in the UK. We don't use the term lawyer. We do not use the term lawyer. We do not use the term lawyer. A lawyer is an attorney. A lawyer is a solicitor, rather. Fuck! Attorney and lawyer both mean solicitor. Here, it's the same thing. It's all the same thing. I think we call them barristers as well. But a barrister is probably more qualified, I think, right? Barrister's more qualified, probably actions courtroom stuff. And then solicitors do. More like paperwork shit. But we don't have lawyers and attorneys. We literally do, those aren't things in the UK. That is not. Neither of those terms are used here. Yeah. Barristers are court guys. Solicitors are in law firms. Yeah. But yeah, there's no lawyer and attorney are not things here. So, holy fuck.
Mr. Hall has counseled concerning the DMCA takedown. I imagine you were the same individual in the ticket yesterday. Hi there. This matter was settled yesterday. A user reached out to us about it and assured us that despite the stated original intent to use Mr. Hall's voice line, they would instead be utilize voice acting. As a lawyer, I have an ethical obligation not to speak with someone directly if I believe they are represented, at least not without permission of the person's attorney. This closes the matter on our end, and we are preparing the email now. I assume this was your client. Sir, respectfully, I'm evaluating claims here. He is now. You may have a 512F problem. We may have everything work out, but I'll want it all in writing. We have not yet engaged an attorney in relation to this specific matter, given the matter was closed on our... We have not yet engaged an attorney in relation to this specific matter. Given the matter was closed on our before this, what information is it that you need from us? If it is grounds under which we submitted the DMCA, we can provide this information. I read the takedown. I do not necessarily agree. Did you do a good faith evaluation for fair use under Lens versus Universal?
Thank you for the $5, Nate.
Universal. Look, you're not a lawyer. It's all fine. Mr. Hall represented on stream. He had an attorney, specifically with an individual with the handle Kronos. If he does not have an attorney, you're not directed to correspond with my client. You should...
We do have lawyers. It's the overarching term for both barristers and solicitors. We don't have, like, a job called... We don't have lawyers, right? People might say lawyer to refer to solicitors and barristers. They don't generally. Almost no one says lawyer in the UK about stuff in the UK. But there is no... People don't have the job lawyer. People are solicitors or they are barristers.
Correspond with me directly. Everything may work out as you hope and anticipate, but I want to take a close look here. I believe you may have conflated a state tort with a copyright claim, which is not permissible under DMCA.
Pretty much no one says lawyer in the UK about UK stuff. You'll say lawyer about Americans.
Furthermore, I believe you did not do a check for fair use and good faith pursuant to Lens versus Universal, which has been the law of the country for over a decade. I just want to make sure my client is treated fairly through the process and make sure it is all on the up and up. Using Mr. Hall's voice without permission is not fair use. We discussed and agreed that they would not, and as such, our issue has been lifted. If you were an attorney, I would say you were a bit out of bounds, but you were not. I believe my client believed you were, based on the statements of Mr. Hall on stream.
Well, he's not even claiming that. There is no way a UK legal representative can jump into US copyright law. It's one of the two disciplines of law that requires further education in the US. This ferret gunt guard is LARPing.
Damn, the Jays have a stranglehold over the UK.
He's not even attempting to claim that. That's the thing, right? He's not even claiming to be representing. He's not claiming any specific knowledge. Thank you for 76, Guyver. Thank you.
No idea how the powdered wig makes you better at law. Disco Elysium Mar clothing stats.
Hey.
My lawyer will talk to your lawyer, good sir.
Thank you for the $5. Thank you. Lone Wolf 97 sounds clinically retarded. Okay. Yeah, he's not even claiming any specific knowledge. He's literally just saying, like, he's just... Thor has just been like, oh, this guy's a copyright lawyer. Talk to this guy. And then he's like, he's just trying to intimidate this dude. There's no like actual negotiation or attempt at explaining the legal issues.
You may have conflated a state tort.
Why do people care about PirateSoftware? I legit don't understand the point of people talking about him. Well, if you haven't figured that out from the fucking hours of content yet, then you're probably not going to figure it out. Just take fucking 30 minutes away. Jesus Christ, what a stupid, annoying chat message.
With a copyright claim, which is not permissible under DMCA. Furthermore, I believe you did not do a check for fair use and good faith pursuant to Lens versus Universal, which has been the law of the country for over a decade. I just want to make sure my client is treated fairly through the process and make sure it is all on the up and up. Using Mr. Hall's voice without permission is not fair use. We discussed and agreed that they would not, and as such, our issue has been lifted. If you were an attorney, I would say you're a bit out of bounds, but you were not. I believe my client believed you were, based on the statements of Mr. Hall on stream. Sir, on what do you base that claim? Is a DMCA...
Lone Wolf 97. Key difference between me and Hassan. You can join my Discord, discord.gg/Kuihman, at any time.
PirateSoftware equals literal walking appeal to authority fallacy.
So, Lone Wolf 97, if you truly are as intelligent as you believe yourself to be, you could always join the Discord. You don't join pedophiles, you're in chat right now. So if this is a pedophile community, you're taking part. Okay? Not a good look, buddy. Not a good look.
Takedown lifted yet. I am not an attorney.
Why are you spending so much time in the pedophile
lawyer,
community?
But there are fundamentally different terminologies here. Ah, yes.
The Discord is nothing but pedophiles, especially Stylo.
Absolutely. Fair use is similar, but different for you. We will be putting together the report for Steam over the coming days. We have 14 days for this. Ours is a constitutional limitation, or rather 12 now. I've helped UK clients before on fair use DMCA issues. Fair shaking head. Okay. Look, I am going to send Mr. Hall a legal letter because I do not believe he has a lawyer here. I am going to communicate directly to him. Neither Mr. Hall nor any of his agents may communicate with directly with my client. They may only communicate directly with me. We have no reason nor intent to. I believe we can resolve this in good faith. Well, you said a moment ago you're going to email him. As far as we're concerned, the matter is already resolved. Is the DMCA lifted yet? Where? Have you withdrawn the takedown? This email for Steam, we are not emailing your client. This closes the matter on our end, and we are preparing the email now. We have to respond to the platform to which the DMCA was filed to inform them that the matter is closed. Let me put it more clearly. I'm going to demand you immediately withdraw, or I may seek damages under Lens versus Universal and 512F. That is not a threat. I investigate.
No, I'm pretty sure the Kronos guy is like a known other person that's like around in PirateSoftware's community.
A situation, but you are not correct, nor should you be dispensing legal advice as to the 14 days being an absolute shield to liability. I will send legal correspondence. I do believe my conversation with you is at an end, as you are not an attorney, nor does it seem you are authorized to handle a legal matter for Mr. Hall. I will direct correspondence to him directly. We will be withdrawing the DMCA once we have prepared the documentation to do so. We then need to email this to Steam, the platform on which the notice was filed. I do not know what the process is on their end. I recognize that you'll be sending a letter to Mr. Hall.
So am I reading this correctly? This the Mario guy, the pro bono lawyer. This guy just came in and basically got him to immediately retract this. Is that what's happening here?
Him accordingly. Very well. I would note that you only need to send a very, very short notice to Steam saying that you withdraw. And while you do not, it hurts my client in a pecuniary way, illegally, if you are not compliant with the law, and I believe you are not. All right, sir. Have a good day, and I caution you against UPL on this side of the pond.
I don't know that everybody understands how the DMCA actually works. Some people will, some of your viewers will, and some of your viewers won't. So I'm going to explain basically the structure of the thing real quick, okay? So,
oh, brother, I understand DMCA just fine.
You can't
I understand DMCA just fine.
Was you had to go through a whole lawsuit.
Please.
And everybody had to pay a lot of money to lawyers before you get something taken off the internet.
I've been hearing DMCA get explained for the last fucking 15 years of my life. I do not need another explanation, please.
And copyright stuff, early on, when the internet was still young and dirt was still cooling, Congress came up with this fast-track way to resolve claims without having to get a bunch of lawyers involved. The idea was that people wouldn't necessarily have to have lawyers, but it could be resolved quickly, and you could get the online service provider could get out of the way, so that because they were publishing the material, so we wanted to get them out of the way in the same way the Communications Decency Act, Section 230, gets the online service provider out of the way. So Digital Millennium Copyright Act, if you believe in good faith that you have a strong belief in good faith that there's your material, your copyrighted material, your intellectual property is improperly being used, then you can issue a takedown notice and you issue it to the online service provider. You don't just have to issue it to the person who's infringing, but you issue it to the online service provider who's republishing or publishing the material. And you say, this is mine. And they have to immediately take it down, and they tell the person who published it, the person who published the material through the online service, hey, somebody took this down. Here's their notice. And that person then can issue a counter notice and say, no. That takedown is improper. And then you have said, and people have to share information around this in order to make lawsuits happen. So what this does is it squares up the ability for these two people, aside from the online service provider, the person who claims the IP and the person who gives a counter notice as to his IP. It lets them get in a squabble with each other and get the online service provider out of the way. If the online service provider follows the procedures under the DMCA, they're immune from liability. It's the safe harbor provision. Okay. So in this case, they issued a DMCA takedown. And you had a view that was critical of JTH for the dire mall poll. And I told you, look, I don't think he was that unreasonable in the dire mall poll. This is a little bit cheeky between us. But I also said I like JTH. I like his material. And maybe you're a little more critical of him than I am. Fair?
Honestly, I didn't know that much about it. I just grabbed I saw the clip. I thought it was funny. Other than that, like, the only thing I've seen about JTH or Thor was YouTube shorts. And, I thought it was cool that, what he's doing for games or getting people into indie games and stuff. Just because I necessarily like the person doesn't mean I'm not going to put them in my game, or, you know what I mean? So if, they just had like a funny moment or, just L take, then I'm going to put them in there. That's pretty much it. But I didn't necessarily have a critical view of him, though.
Okay. All right. So I point out to JTH in the letter that his takedown is, I believe, unlawful. I point out to JTH in the letter very early on that I believe his takedown is unlawful under this case called Lens versus Universal Music Corporation, 2015 case. So immediately after the DMCA, shortly as things develop, there's a new procedure, and courts are starting to wrestle with it. We have this doctrine in the U.S. called fair use. Some other countries have it, but for us, it's particularly strong because it's based on the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. Congress, copyright law, is a law made by Congress, and Congress shall make no law that infringes on freedom of speech or of the press. Okay, that abridges it. So the doctrine of fair use encompasses things that fall within the scope of free speech and are not protected by copyright in that way.
No, I don't think you just wanted the docs for extortion. I don't think that's true.
But they are sued by the person who enjoys fair use, but you can't sue them for it. So it's an exception to the copyright law, and it's based on the First Amendment and the freedom.
He wants it. PirateSoftware hates people talking bad about him. He hates people making fun of him. He hates people criticizing him. He just wants his shit taken out of the game. That is clearly what he wants. In every case like this, it is so blatant. His motivation is clear. It is just pure narcissism. He is just like possibly a clinical narcissist. Now, obviously, I've got no way of knowing that. I've got no way of diagnosing. I don't know that much about psychology, but I'm pretty sure PirateSoftware is a clinical narcissist. Okay, I'm pretty certain.
Freedom of speech in the U.S. law. Okay. We told in the letter, we say, look, you got to withdraw your DMCA takedown in 24 hours. There's going to be a problem. And I said it because so that way we can talk about it. Because right now, as soon as you do a DMCA takedown, it causes a person harm immediately. So it's ripe for abuse. It's a very powerful instrument because you can get someone's stuff taken off the internet. Normally, we would call that kind of thing a prior restraint or a kind of censorship because it's pursuant to U.S. law. It's a kind of government state action, and it's like a kind of censorship. That's another reason why the First Amendment gets involved. I explained to JTH that
PirateSoftware is state retard. Who cares? Well, if you don't care, you'll be fine leaving for the next 24 hours.
Doesn't do that, then I believe he's going to be liable under a particular provision of the DMCA that allows someone to say, hey, you did that wrong, and we're going to collect, you hurt my guy, you hurt my client, and we can collect damages for it. So there was part of the thing that made me upset was that when JTH said he had a lawyer, an actual copyright lawyer, I then looked at your discussions with this fellow, and he was behaving in a way a lawyer should not. An attorney in the United States should not behave. So I can't, as a lawyer, we're restricted in terms of our ability to speak to people who are non-lawyers if we know they have a lawyer. So I believe, because of what he said in stream, he had a lawyer. So I approached this fellow myself, and I've given you the chat logs back, which you can share if you want. But I approached this fellow who I believed was the lawyer, Kronos, and said, hey, so where do I send this correspondence? I have legal correspondence. I need to send legal mail to your client, who I believe was his client at the time. The gentleman immediately identified that he was not an attorney. And I said, oh.
Okay, he's just rehashing what we saw in the chat logs.
If I say
it's fine.
I'm a lawyer and I'm not admitted to practice law, that's bizarre, and that can get me in big trouble. Yeah, there was one more thing. So I've been pretty active in this case in terms of talking and openly about your case. We're doing this right now, for example. And a lot of times lawyers don't do that in cases. And there's good reasons for that. But when when publicity is affecting your client and there's an uneven power in publicity. For example, if a prosecutor says something that isn't true about your client, and says something egregiously not true that suggests your client committed a crime, or the record doesn't support that, or your position doesn't support that, then you, as an attorney, you need to correct the record. You need to come into the public space, and you have an obligation to do that. And there's a really good case on point, Dominic Gentile versus State Bar of Nevada. Dominic, I know him. We're colleagues in the First Amendment Lawyers Association together. So that's a really important point. Like normally attorneys, you shouldn't talk. You should.
No, this is just like a pro bono internet free speech lawyer who just is helping. He's not actually like this guy's a lawyer. He's just helping.
Avoid it because you can end up saying something to get your client in a jam. Or you, as the attorney, you might become part of the lawsuit. You might become a witness. You might become part of the suit in a way. That as opposed to being someone who's working on the suit, you might become part of the suit because of something you said. So normally attorneys don't talk, and normally I don't either. But when you have in this kind of situation, the power of publicity is very lopsided. You don't have a ton of followers. He has millions of followers. There's been statements that are incorrect about the law, objectively incorrect, and that's why I got. Normally, I wouldn't, even in a case I cared a lot about. I normally would avoid the public spotlight as much as possible. I would be less involved. But in your case, I've been more involved than I usually am, even in cases with because we have even with cases where there's this great disparity in power, because the people who care about your case and are following it, and the people who would be affected by it and not buy or buy your video game because of the story, they don't read the papers, most of them, not anymore. So you got to go where the people are at in order to effectively communicate. So that's why I've been very much, even in YouTube, I've been taking on some explaining your position very well. That's why we're doing this video here. It's because of that disparity. And I think attorneys have an obligation under the rules of professional conduct where there is this issue, they have to talk.
This all boils down to idle streaming bonanza being DMCA'd as a sad attempt to shut me up. I also conceded to not using Thor's voice in my game under advice from a lawyer I believe to be an actual attorney able to practice here in the States. However, using Thor's voice lines could still be potential trouble, as I would have to argue fair use in a court because it becomes a case-by-case basis. Mara's opinion was a 60% chance of winning if I were to pursue. Unfortunately, it would be a battle of wallets. That's the last of the milk. It's been a fun...
Wow. Kind of dragged at the end there with the lawyer's explanation, not gonna lie. That was not necessary at all. Okay, card posting had a PirateSoftware video, so let's play that segment, like he complained about me doing with his video. So we've got a card posting video. PirateSoftware deserved a downfall. Let's see. I've already seen this. I already watched it on my phone, so I have pre-watched. But it was a good video. It's a good video. This is exactly the type of thing I wanted to see from card posting. When I asked him, are you making more internet drama content? I was like, this is, having seen this, I was like, damn, this is the exact kind of video I want from this guy.
Hello there, my name's Card, and here on my YouTube page, I like to make simple little videos about things that cross my mind. Today, I just wanted to briefly touch on the current internet flavour of the week drama, and why I think it's basically good. This video is, first and foremost, for people who are already familiar with at least the basic details of what's going on. But just in case you aren't, I'll give a brief summary first, and I'll also note that while I'm framing this video about one specific person, the ideas I'm going to be articulating will be very broadly applicable to a lot of people and a lot of drama situations.
This is drama theory, guys. Cards about to spit facts. About to lay down some drama theory. Let's fucking go.
So, when people say PirateSoftware, they're invoking the name of an indie game development studio. But what everyone, including me right now, actually means by that is the head dev, lead writer, founder, and CEO of that studio, Jason Thor Hall. Now, for context, Hall is also a pretty big streamer and YouTuber. He does videos and live streams talking about software development and playing games and telling stories about his experience in the tech nerd industry.
Okay, I would say that he does videos talking about software development is, you know, it's not the most accurate statement in the world, is it? I've never seen him talk at any particular length about, like, software development, really. He talks kind of about, like, Blizzard and how epic Blizzard is. And how cool he is, how cool, all the cool, awesome things he's done that don't really involve much development.
And at the moment, he's coming under more overt criticism than he's ever seen at any other point in his online career. This all started, funnily enough, because one night he was playing World of Warcraft on a stream with some mates, and he bungled what he was supposed to be doing for his team in this multiplayer game that we're all going to pretend is a serious activity. But this was merely the start of the spiral we could now
see. Why do you have to do that, Card? Why do you have to throw a shot in there? Classic WoW is serious stuff.
But this was merely the start of the spiral we could now say he's in. Because he kept his stream going after this to try and deflect the criticism he was getting from his viewers. Then he started getting into petty squabbles with his World of Warcraft friends because his ego wouldn't let him apologize. Then when more people started criticizing him for that, he started mass banning and muting people in his chat, which is definitely still small potatoes, but he kept doubling down, making himself look more and more like a jackass over this completely trivial thing. At this point, he's allegedly or apparently pulling strings behind the scenes to get people on social media in trouble if they make fun of him, and he's doing uncalled for copyright strikes on people who use footage of him to critique his actions. and he's now trying to get an indie game taken down because they used a parodic likeness of him. This all started like 2 weeks ago now, and the spiral is still ongoing. More and more people are turning against Hall because of his continuing actions in the wake of this incredibly small thing. And the more people see of him acting like this at the moment, the more he looks like a massive jerk. And while this isn't a massive moral scandal, at least not yet, people are calling this the big PirateSoftware downfall or crash out.
I'd say it starts reaching the level of moral scandal when you're filing like false legal notices and shit. I'd say we're pretty much at the moral scandal point. Obviously, initially, with just the WoW stuff, it's like not really that bad. But then when you start impugning his credibility more, when it starts seeming like all the information he gives might be true, or he might be like lying, essentially like slandering Mr. Robot and all that stuff, that starts getting a bit more like, okay, this is a bit more of a problem. But the false legal notices, I think we're at the point where, okay, no, you're actually doing something wrong. You're doing a bad thing that isn't just being a dick about a video game and being like super lame. You're like actually causing problems for other people that are like totally unjustified.
Because he has quite possibly now...
I mean, yeah, well, kind of, I guess, yeah, you can say even beforehand with Heartbound, because it's kind of like a, well, not a Kickstarter scam, I wouldn't say, but, you know, an unfulfilled Kickstarter that has totally missed every deadline.
The more he looks like a massive jerk. And while this isn't a massive moral scandal, at least not yet, people are calling this the big PirateSoftware downfall or crash out.
You scripted all of these jokes and statements. You're down to the moderate chuckles you're doing. Show us your script. What? Because I pre-watched this. What?
Because he has quite possibly now permanently scuffed his previously squeaky clean image. Now, I wanted to inject a little bit of my own opinion and a little bit of serious analysis into this Jason Hall PirateSoftware situation. All things considered, I like this, and I'm glad it's happening, even though it's
See, very awesome. Very based from Card.
over something that is
reveling in other people's misery.
Jason Hall
Awesome.
PirateSoftware situation. All things considered, I like this, and I'm glad it's happening, even though it's over something that is complete small potatoes, and I'll explain why. I'm going to call this video PirateSoftware Deserved a Downfall. Emphasis on A. It's decidedly not PirateSoftware deserved his downfall, or PirateSoftware deserved this downfall. It's PirateSoftware deserved a downfall.
Yeah,
what I mean by that is, I think it's fine, and it's good even, to just dislike someone because of what you might just say is subjectively undeserved or unwarranted success.
See, this is just based. This is just base. Yeah, I do hate people for being successful when they suck. Problem? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I just don't like this guy, and he got really rich, so I fucking hate him.
Jason Hall has had for years now an extremely lucrative career doing something he both enjoys immensely and which is very easy. He lives basically the best sort of life that is attainable for someone outside of just being born into real old money landed capitalist wealth. He has gotten for himself a life of financial, artistic and personal success. And I say, it's perfectly valid, for lack of a better word, to want to see him brought back down to earth. If only just because you don't like to see people stay that far above the rest of us forever. I wouldn't say it's even a matter of jealousy or envy per se.
This is like very red bar coded. This is very. I feel like I've heard this exact same like rant on Red Bar about Mr. Beast when he briefly covered that. And he was like, "Yeah, he wanted to be too big. You can't be the biggest thing. You can't be that. No one can be the biggest thing. You have to be brought back down." Fuck.
Say, but if you don't like this guy or anyone like him, because simply of overt jealousy, I say that's cool and valid too. For me, there's also a fairly strong element to this, where cutting-edge tech bro types really just rub me the wrong way. I think there's a culture of really overinflated self-importance among developer, coder...
All you need is a shed and some CRTs. So true, Card.
Cutting-edge tech bro types really just rub me the wrong way. I think there's a culture of really overinflated self-importance among developer, coder, hacker types. Being able to drive the computer really good doesn't make you a better person or more interesting. And I really enjoy seeing these types of people fail, regardless of why exactly the failure itself happens.
We might watch it in a bit, Spencer.
After this, can you please watch Card's pro drama video? He equates drama slop with fractious debates of Enlightenment intellectuals. Very based.
It's on the list. It's on the list. We'll try and get to it.
That's the grand moral takeaway here. It's actually perfectly fine to hate someone or an entire industry and the culture that surrounds it all because of how excessive and opulent it all is. It's fine. Now, I will say, you could tie all of this into a political analysis. That's not what I'm doing here, but you could do it. You could add something in about how the developer, coder, hacker types are what a lot of self-serious lefties call the aristocracy of labor, and how historically all over the world they've generally actively worked against efforts to unionize white-collar
the Indian voice was
workplaces.
just really funny, okay?
A lot of self-serious lefties call the aristocracy of labor, and how historically all over the world they've generally actively worked against efforts to unionize white-collar workplaces for their own short-sighted and selfish ends. You could talk about how it's only natural to actively resent those who have received an elevated station in life, even though their work isn't exactly hard labor.
Could talk about all this.
And you could talk at length about how capitalism clearly enables all this. But I don't even care about any of that here. My dislike of PirateSoftware, Jason Hall, and people like him is basically, at the end of the day, a gut feeling. And I think that's fine.
I just don't fucking like this guy. They're just so based.
You should feel free to dislike people who make so much money for so little effort too. And while, again, this isn't something I think of as an overtly political opinion of mine, I do feel like whatever deep, personal, intuitive leaning I have that makes me a hardline, anti-authoritarian progressive, that same intuition is what makes me hate developer types who get above their station. This PirateSoftware crash out may have started of the dumbest, tiniest thing possible, but I really truly hope he keeps doubling down so much he ends up damaging every professional relationship he has. Frankly, I hope that this somehow ruins him. It's just a thought. Anyway, once again, my name's Card. If you might like to hear more from me, feel free to subscribe to this YouTube page or just take a look at my other videos.
It's just so real. It's just so real. I just want more videos
Hello,
like this from
Kuihman.
Card.
I am
So
a boy
bad.
of 35 whose best friend likes Hassan and thinks he is read up and has good takes. What can I do? Surrounded in Sweden.
Give up. Go start hanging out with the Muslims instead. Thank you for the 70 tech. Thank you. Okay. Is there another piece of PirateSoftware content I can throw in here just to fully pad out a segment? Wait, that's a good bit. We need more Ask Amy advice column donors. Surrounded in Sweden. Oh man, I don't know if there's any other PirateSoftware stuff. Sadly, sadly. Did you watch the EVE Online guy? No. Could you make something up about him? Yeah, PirateSoftware is a pet. Okay. PirateSoftware lied about EVE Online.
Ladies and gentlemen,
From Loru Gaming. Alright, whatever. Let's watch this. Let's watch this. Fine. We'll watch some, like, decades-old EVE Online drama about PirateSoftware. Fine. What's the pirate software stuff anyway? I've been purposely avoiding this because it feels like homo nerd drama. It is kind of nerd drama, however, it is broadly funny to a lot of people, even people that aren't into this stuff. I'll try and give you a quick summary as to why. Pirate Software is a Nepo baby who got a job at Blizzard through his dad and has used that to blag being way more educated and competent than he is for many, many years. And now he has gotten a huge streaming career off of pretending to be the smartest guy in the world when he's actually probably below average intelligence. Yeah, blag. Define blag. Manage to obtain something by using persuasion or guile. Steal something in a violent robbery or raid. An act of persuasion or guile to obtain something.
Blag.
So, nice one, retards. Nice one. You fucking tried, didn't you? Retarded ass chatters. Taking notes, because you guys have got one removed from you. I will be bringing this up to all the people who just tried to question that. If they try and insult my speech in future. Patback, noted. Accept bacon, noted. Killinger, PR420. Afro, Freddie Woods. Next time you attack my speech. That is taken from you. Okay?
One of the biggest creators in all of creatordom has been lying about something to do with EVE Online. And I have first-hand knowledge to tell you what that lie is and what actually happened. I am talking, of course, about someone you might recognize. Yep, this is Pirate Software, also known to the EVE community as Maldavius. Okay, we're going to talk about what's happened, what actually happened, and why this kind of stuff hurts the majority of EVE players. This kind of lies being said and purported. We're going to talk about it, okay? So
we were Triglavians.
He's hurting EVE players, guys. He's hurting EVE players.
It's triangle people, right? Aliens. And this is a faction inside of the game. We decided as players to align ourselves with this, and we moved all over the game for about 1 year, traveling.
Acronym versus acrostic versus anagram versus acrobat. Go. Okay, I'm going to actually try this. An acronym is like the initials of something, basically. It's the first letter of each thing put into a little, like, phrase or, like, a single word. A first letter of each phrase put into a single word. Of each word put into a single phrase. Shut the fuck up! First letter of each word in a phrase put into a single word. That's... Well, you know what I'm trying to say here. You know what I'm trying to say. Acrostic. That's where you do the first letter of each line. Anagram. That's where you reorganize the letters in a word to make a new word. Acrobat is someone who is really good at jumping and spinning and shit.
Around with no home, going and fighting this war that went on to turn certain areas of space into lawless land, right? And we went all over the place. We took all these different stars, and it was fun. It was super awesome, but we didn't really have a home. We never had a place to live, and having ownership over your space in EVE is kind of a big deal. So when we got...
So if you don't know what the heck he's talking about...
Is fast an adverb? No.
If you're a brand new EVE player, he's talking about the founding of Pochvan. He's talking about the founding of the Triglavian area in space. These star systems used to be in high sec. I think there was maybe one in low sec. I don't remember. It's been a long time. It's been a couple years.
It can be.
These systems were basically in flux between becoming Pochvan or not, and the players could choose which ones would go into Pochvan, roughly speaking, by fighting for the Triglavian, aligning themselves with the Triglavian collective, with that side, that reputation, okay? The star systems ended up becoming Pochvin, and that's this triangle. And we say it's a triangle because there's a lot of, like, triangle stuff to do with Pochvin. A lot of their reactors, their, like, little mini-suns are housed in, like, a triangle matrix. What's the thing from Avengers? You know what I'm talking about? Tesseract. It's housed in, like, a triangle tesseract, stuff like that. The literal star system is in the shape of a triangle. That's why some of you watching are like,
Bro, what's up with all the triangles, bro?
You know, this is just part of the lore.
No, fast can kind of be an adverb. It would be an adverb if you say, someone ran fast. You're using fast to describe the act of running in the past tense, right? So it can be an adverb, but it's like, I mean, saying is fast an adverb? I mean, that's kind of like simplifying the question, isn't it? You're deliberately trying to, because you're kind of wrong both ways. That's kind of a trick question. Because it's not an adverb by default. It can be an adverb in some sentences.
That's that. So this is about the founding of Pochvin. This Pirate Software guy is Maldavius. That's his character name in the game, and he and many other people fought for the founding of Pochvin. Let's keep listening.
Got 27 stars. Those stars formed into a place in space, a pocket dimension called Pochvin that looked like this. And we owned a full third of this, because as we had been taking these stars, we were dropping structures in them. And when it moved into Pochvin, those structures stayed. And now they couldn't be replaced. If a structure gets destroyed in Pochvin, it never comes back. You can never...
This is unique to Pochvin. Okay, this is a unique thing to Pochvin. It's very important because this is literally why the entire thing that we're about to listen to happened. They were placing structures in these star systems before they went into Pochvin, before they, like, regressed into this, like, subsystem area into Pochvin itself, right? We're placing structures, we're doing these things, and once it becomes Pochvin, you can't place any more structures. This is a rule in Pochvin. It's one of the things that makes the area unique.
What is it? Okay. What's this guy going on about? This is Eve shit.
Pochvin. This Pirate Software guy
there's a place called Pochvin.
That's his character name in the game, and he and many other people fought for the founding of Pochvin. Let's keep listening.
Okay,
got 27 stars.
Those
stars formed into a place in space, a pocket dimension called Pochvin that looked like this. And we owned a full third of this, because as we had been taking these stars, we were dropping structures in them. And when it moved into Pochvin, those structures stayed. And now they couldn't be replaced. If a structure gets destroyed in Pochvin, it never comes back. You can never...
This is unique to Pochvin. Okay, this is a unique thing to Pochvin. It's very important because this is literally why the entire thing that we're about to listen to happened. They were placing structures in these star systems before they went into Pochvin, before they, like, regressed into this, like, subsystem area into Pochvin itself, right? We're placing structures, we're doing these things, and once it becomes Pochvin, you can't place any more structures. This is a rule in Pochvin. It's one of the things that makes the area unique and different from, say, nullsec or even wormhole space, because Pochvin, you just can't place structures. This is a big deal. If we have non-Eve players doing this, placing structures gives you not just a foothold, it doesn't just give you staging or a foothold. It is a massive deal because it gives your entire corp a place to be. There's more stuff you can do. You can dictate tax rates. There's a lot of things you can do from a player-owned station comparatively to an NPC-owned station that anybody can just come in. You can even set who can dock in the station if you own it, if your corp alliance owns it. So if we have non-Eve players watching this, a corp is a guild, and an alliance is a group of corporations, a group of guilds. An alliance is a big...
Okay, guys, now is a great time to remind you, okay? We've got 500 people here, 70 likes on stream. If you're watching the stream right now, if you're enjoying the content, please remember to move your cursor, thumbs up and click it, or press thumbs up on your mobile device. Both would be hugely appreciated. Now, if you want to take your support one step further, you can donate directly through a stream moments link in the pinned chat message. You can also buy a membership to the channel, gift a membership to the channel, gift a whole bunch of memberships to the channel throughout the chat. Buy a super chat, which will highlight a message and read it out on TTS, or buy a super sticker, which is a YouTube image or GIF that'll be highlighted in chat, and I'll describe it to you. You can go to discord.gg/Kuihman, twitter.com/Kuihman, or reddit.com/r/Kuihman. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Big thing, a corp is a smaller thing. Still big depending on what we're talking about, okay?
Everything I know about EH makes it seem like the most annoying waste of time game. I mean, it just sounds fucking boring. It's all just like spreadsheet shit, isn't it? That's what everyone says.
Anchor a new one, it's gone. So these were unique, and we...
Wait, we've got a PirateSoftware acronym clip. What is this?
You know, not everything is shortened as an acronym. What? They said ROS instead of Ruins of Cephalon. That is an acronym. Yeah, that's what that is. Because an acronym is an abbreviation. It's formed from, like, the first letter of each word. That's what an acronym is? No, that's an acronym. You... Okay, I'm gonna do this now. I'm gonna go to Google.
So it's not an acronym because it doesn't make any word.
Formed from the initial letters of other words and pronounced as a word.
Yeah. So you wouldn't say ROS because that's not a new word. Now, if it was like, let's say, let's just change it around a bit and say it's like, well, what's a close word to that? You could have like Runes of Cephalon or whatever it is, Elite or something, and then you call it Rose. Right? You call it Rose. That would be an acronym, right? Yeah, but then this isn't because this is just, yeah, like initials, like an abbreviation. Okay.
Abbreviation formed from the initial letters of other words and pronounced as a word.
Pronounced as a word.
ROS.
Yeah. ROS. No.
Acronym.
Okay.
It's a three-letter acronym. That's an acronym.
Yeah, it's an initialism. Abbreviation, initialism.
Are you guys still having an argument about acronym versus initialism? Insane.
Soy Sauce with 20 Canadian dollars said, "What's up, man? Been watching your YT shorts for a month or so and haven't caught a stream until now."
BBC wouldn't be an acronym, it's an initialism. Acronym versus initialism. An acronym is a word made from the first letters of a phrase pronounced as a word. An initialism is a word made from the first letters of a phrase pronounced as individual letters. So yeah, it's... BBC is an initialism. That is not an acronym, okay?
We were the powerhouse that owned that space. The problem was this. It didn't work. It was broken. When we got to that section of space, they had one piece of content. This was called a dread site raid. The dread sites, for the first, like, 2 or 3 months, did not function. Imagine going into a raid with 15 people, and you kill the boss, and then afterwards, the boss gives you negative reputation and negative money. That's what happened, and every week, we would talk to the devs, and every week, they would try to get us to test it on live servers again with our...
Okay, so first thing, this is correct. This is what happened. When Pochfin became its own thing, when the star systems in HiSec went to Pochfin, when Pochfin was established, the dread sites he's talking about, which would become / whatever, are the observatory flashpoints today, and other similar sites, whatever. These sites were broken. They would not function correctly. The NPCs were weird. You would get negative rep. This is a big deal. You might say negative rep, who cares? Because you see that this is all these star systems. Imagine all of these are little dots that make up this triangle-shaped star system. The gates, you couldn't activate the stargates unless you had a certain reputation. So the sites in the area would stop you from navigating around the area. This was not intended. This was not like a part of the game. That's too that would be too tedious, and that was not part of the game. Okay, so everything he's saying is correct so far. The first thing I want to talk about is something he ended with just now.
Negative reputation and negative money. That's what happened, and every week we would talk to the devs, and every week they would try to get us to test it on live servers again with our live characters for 2.5 to 3 months. We lost 70% of our online players. I'm
going to get to the 70% number in just a sec. So the devs did work with players to try to help see what the problem was. I want you to, this is my first issue with this video. I want you to see how he's describing this. There's a lot of bitterness. There's a lot
Dude, okay.
of, I'm going to call it entitlement for some from some of the stuff he says later in the video. This is my first problem with this. I understand it's frustrating. This is frustrating.
Dude, this guy is very gay.
How do you manage combining gaming with the work you have? A method? Yeah,
With that rootsy hair, Pirate is one announcement away from being trans.
Thank you for the 70 sec. Thank you.
How do you manage combining gaming with the work you have? A method? Yeah, so I stream for 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. After the stream, I go and work on other stuff, usually to the tune of about 16 hours each day. Outside of that, on the 2 days I have off, which is
just total cap. Streamers always say some shit like this. Dude, I'm so fucking lazy when I stream. It's crazy.
Wednesday and Thursday, I do 3 hours of...
Why do people just lie? It's just so crazy. It's so fucking stupid. Yeah, streaming's tiring. People don't want to tell you this, okay? People don't want... Streaming is tiring. You're actually kind of wiped out after talking on stream for a while. You kind of just don't want to do anything else. That's the way it be. And every streamer is like that. And if they say otherwise, they're totally fucking lying.
Time for myself on those days, and the rest of the entirety of that 13 hours is spent working on things outside of that. So, like, not...
Yeah, exactly. Like any job. Like, no one finishes... This is why it's so hard as well. People who want to start streaming struggle so much. Because if you have a normal fucking job, you don't want to fucking do anything else afterwards. You get home from work, and you're like, bruh, I don't want to do shit. I'm putting the TV on. I'm playing Marvel Rivals, and I'm falling asleep. That's how it be.
Just working. And that's it. Yeah. No, I haven't heard of that, Tarmac. I don't know anything about that. Yeah, this character is...
New cap skin? What? Marvel Rivals. New Captain America skin. Captain America and that Luna. Oh. Oh, it's the Infinity War skin. Oh, awesome.
He's not the mayor. No, that's my other character. That's why his name is Spud. Any exercises to stay fit? I walk my dogs. That's about it. It seems too much work for...
Oh, I picked up, sorry, we're going gaming tangents. Picked up Zenless again. I'm back on. I'm back in the swing of it, okay? I went on to get Miyabi, like, a month ago or whatever. Because I wasn't going to miss Miyabi. I missed too many banners. I wasn't going to miss Miyabi. And then I got Astra, whatever her fucking name is, last night. And I'm back on. I'm back in that shit. Yeah, Miyabi's just like fucking busted, dude. I mean, she's fucking awesome to play. Virgil type moves, very epic. Is what is the new character gonna be good? The furry. Is the new furry character gonna be good or not?
For you, not for me. I prefer my life. What is this? Oh, wait. Here's another one of these weirdos. Let me see. Bro, you're playing games and making Game Maker games. Don't act like you work harder than even 1% of our population. I'm a CEO of a company with 17 employees. She's not even gonna be 5-star?
What?
I work 16 hours a day. I have to manage all of those employees across all of the different states and countries that they live in to make sure that we are fully legally compliant across all of them.
Wait, so what good character is coming next? Upcoming banners. So it's gonna be what? So it'll be Evelyn, Ching Yi. And then what? Is that not even in this banner? The furry's not even on this banner. Sorry. Well, let's finish the PirateSoftware clip, and then I might look at Zenless stuff from here.
I do 3 hours of time for myself on those days, and the rest of the entirety of that 13.
I didn't say anything when they added horse armor. Now children live in a gotcha world.
Very true. I mean, very true. That's just facts. But I like gacha games. Sorry, I like Zenless. I don't like gacha games in general. I do like Zenless, though. I really enjoy Zenless.
15 hours I spent working on things outside of that. So, like, not streaming, just working. And that's it. Yeah. No, I haven't heard of that, Tarmok. I don't know anything about that. Yeah, this character is not the mayor. No, that's my other character. That's why his name is Spud. Any exercises to stay fit? I walk my dogs. That's about it. It seems too much work for you. Not for me. I prefer my life.
Well, he's just built different, guys. He's just so fucking motivated. Play video games for 12 hours a day.
What is this? Oh, wait. Here's another one of these weirdos. Let me see. Bro, you're playing games and making Game Maker games. Don't act like you work harder than even 1% of our population. I'm a CEO of a company with 17 employees.
Dude.
I work 16 hours a day.
Yeah, 12 hours that is playing video games, buddy.
Across all of the different states and countries that they live in to make sure that we are fully legally compliant across all of them. If you think that is not work in some way, you're insane. Yes. I'm also the director of strategy for Off-Brand Games. As a side job.
Dude. As a side job.
If you'd like to continue, we could keep having a conversation about it. But I work my ass off, kid.
Kid.
Insane behavior.
Kid. Dude, what a fucking loser.
We're going to say this a bunch of times in this video. You work really hard to establish an area of space, the areas in the space that have these sites to play, these things to do, and they're broken. That is frustrating. We all agree, we all understand. The devs are asking for your help. What game happens like that? The devs are QAing on their side. They're also working with the players to see, literally show me what's wrong.
Dude, I'm not a furry just because I can appreciate a furry character design. Some furry character designs are fine. In other media, I don't like, you know, fucking people's random fan furry shit. But there are furry characters in various media. Like Lola the Bunny. We could all come to the table and Lola the Bunny, right? That doesn't make you a furry.
A bad thing. This is a good thing. But how he says it is like, and the devs got us to test it on live. It doesn't have a good spirit to it. It doesn't have a cooperative spirit to it. I understand he's frustrated. A lot of people back in the day were very frustrated with Pochfin. But to say this like, you know, the devs made us test it live, that's a good thing that the devs actually gave a crap to sit down and work with you in some extent instead of like just giving you a stiff arm and not talking to you at all. So it's better than having no communication. That's my...
Card post and do a new video on Kuihman's fur fetish, please. Kuihman's got some weird takes on dogs, doesn't he?
First point here. So let's keep... This is not why I wanted to make this video. Let's keep talking. Okay.
For 2.5 to 3 months. We lost 70% of our online players. About half of these people never came back. It was a goddamn mess. And we got pissed. And eventually they finally fixed it, but then they put a target on our back.
Yeah, and before we get to the target, and before we get to, you know, this happened too. 70% of the players quit. Of course they did. Look, chat, if you work for months to establish an area of space, you know EVE is about the stories, okay? EVE is about the player-driven stories. It's not the devs necessarily giving the overarching narrative. It's one of the things that makes EVE Online unique and special. The devs put in place this system where, hey, you can help corrupt these systems and put them into this different area of space, and you helped make it. And then that happens. They work really hard. It gets to that point. And then the main ISK faucet, the main like money generator in the area is broken. 70% of the players left. Now, I don't know if this number is accurate, but I can tell you that I believe this number. I believe this number because this is freaking ridiculous. It is. Here's my first big point. 70% of the players quit. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're playing a video game, and this is a video game, EVE Online, and this, even if you work for a couple months to like establish something, if the sites are broken, submit a bug report and go to a different area of space. Okay? I just said something that's very unpopular with a lot of EVE players. There's this, I fought for this. I worked for this. I'm going to make this work even if it's broken. Ladies and gentlemen, we are discussing a video game. Okay? I care about all of you watching, both live and on the VOD. I want you to understand that games are supposed to be something we enjoy. They're supposed to be something we do to entertain ourselves, to hang out with our buddies. And if you're punishing yourself by being in an area of space where stuff's broken and everybody's leaving, isn't everybody leaving sign that maybe you, as the head of an alliance, should take your people and leave? I think so. Now, I'm not an alliance head, but I have been a GM in World of Warcraft and other guilds in the past and other games in the past. If I'm watching my player base leave, I'm not going to make an executive decision to stay and suffer through all of this. I'm going to say, hey...
Bro, EVE players are the most autistic motherfuckers in the world. It's pretty crazy.
Guys, we need to go to a different area of space because this is not working. Because it's... My goal is the joy of the people that are under me. Not...
And they're all just like middle management types too. Do you know what I mean? Like they are all like middle management. That is every single one of their personality types, and it has to be to succeed in that game.
Banging my head against the wall just for the sake of it, and then the spirit of this, of what he's saying, blaming CCP Games for people leaving. To be clear, it's their bug. They gotta fix it. It's their game. They gotta fix it. But if there's a bug, submit a bug report. If it's that bad, go to another area of space. EVE on...
No, I'm not doing the cherry leaks. It's very obvious, Destiny. Just put those out to fucking, like, smear, basically. It's just, like, deliberately try and embarrass someone. That's the only point of putting those logs out. They don't show anything.
Line is the biggest MMO, I think. Probably is. In terms of amount of content, you could do a new activity in EVE every day for the next year, and there still be plenty of content to do. Jump clones are a thing. You're correct, Cyber. So now, to be the devil's advocate, you work this hard to establish something in space, to do all this work, to finally, like you're the founding, one of the founding Pochfin alliances, Pochfin corporations. Then the sites don't work. That is frustrating. I'll give him that. But, well, let's keep listening.
And eventually they finally fixed it, but then they put a target on our back because they have this thing inside of EVE Online called the Economic Report. The Economic Report actually tells you how much money each area of space actually makes, and they finally released the Economic Report 1 month after they fixed our area of space. So imagine 3 months of the game just being shit and us being broke and nothing working, and then 1 month later they release an Economic Report after they fix everything, and now everyone thinks we've been making a shitload of money in a pocket of space that no one can touch us in? Yeah, and no other player will believe you because it's EVE Online. So yeah, that sucked. So that...
Okay. The monthly economic report, the MER, is something that happens. CCP Games did not include, it sounds like based on his story, CCP Games did not, the devs did not include Pochfin in the MER prior to them fixing it, or when they included it in there, I don't remember, I haven't found it, it's been years. The income in the area was so low, no one was looking at it. This MER is looked at by a lot, if not all, of the top corps, top alliances, because it shows where the ISK is in the game. We literally just covered last month's MER, thanks to Oz, thanks very much Oz, over on our Patreon, okay? Because it's a long video, it's kind of droll, it's not the best for YouTube, so I made sure to give you the best value over on our Patreon. That's what we do. This, listen to what he says. They fixed Pochfin, they include it in the MER, in the ER, in the economic report. I'm going to call it the MER. People then see there's a lot of money to be made, so this put a target on our back. Do you hear the entitlement here? I understand you worked hard to make this happen, but just because you worked hard to make something happen, you, ladies and gentlemen, here's my first big point here. You are entitled to nothing in EVE Online. Nothing. I don't care.
This guy is so gay. Wow, this video is lame, bro. This video is incredibly lame. You're entitled to nothing, EVE Online. Like, it's just old dudes seething over a fucking spreadsheet game.
How much you've done. I don't care how hard you've worked. I don't care how long you've played the game. I've been playing since 2008, on and off. You are entitled to nothing. You have to keep fighting tooth and claw to get your stuff. That is the nature of the beast. It is one of the many things that makes the game special, that you can't do it alone. So you are forced then to group up with people.
Promise me this video picks up. Promise me this video picks up. And I'm likely to ban you if you're lying to me.
And get allegiances, get alliances, get friends. As the CEO of CCP Games says, the best ship is the friend ship. And through adversity, you get these groups together, you get these people. If the entire game sees that Pochfin is now fixed and there's a bunch of ISK to be made, that does not mean that the devs are painting a target on your back.
We're getting through the video.
See what I'm saying? See the spirit of this. This is not what happened. If the MER comes out and a bunch of ISK is to be made, that doesn't mean that they're saying, hey, this guy and his alliance, go get him. CCP Games are very correctly saying, hey, we fixed the thing that was broken. It's an endgame area that's built around smaller gangs. We've talked about that in past videos. Nullsec, very quickly.
Okay, so PirateSoftware's bitching because his sector got included in the MER, which got attention on him, but I mean, there's no reason to bitch because the only reason it wasn't in the MER is because it was bugged beforehand and they had to spend ages fixing it. And then when it got fixed, it was put back on the MER like you would expect. And he's just crying that he didn't basically get given a bunch of free shit. He wasn't allowed to just keep farming free shit. Is that correct? Am I understanding that correctly?
If there are non-E players coming in, the edges of the map are null security. You can fly the biggest ships in that area, capital ships. These are the size of small moons, and they take literal raid groups to take out. You literally become a raid boss if you're a WoW player, okay? If you fly capital ships. In Pochfin, in the Triangle, you cannot make capital ships anymore. I have a couple. We're gonna have that content, okay? But you can't make them anymore inside of Pochfin. Basically, if you have a capital ship, and I do in Pochfin, they're the last of their kind. Look for that content, Chad. It's gonna be a good time. Point is, CCP Games saying, hey, the endgame area that was broken is now fixed. Has nothing to do with this guy. Okay? Does it affect them? Yeah. Welcome to EVE Online. If you're in a lucrative area, you have to defend it. See what I'm saying? You see the difference in thinking, okay? Instead of this video being, hey,
it's a mindset,
let me do what he does, okay?
EVE Online's a mindset.
So, they released an economic report, and, there's a bunch of ISK to be made. And now, we have a bunch more PvP fights. We have to defend the area, and it's a lot of fun. And now we get to do...
We're going to talk about why there were some problems, but if the spirit of the video was like, look, now we get to have a bunch of PvP fights, now there's more fun. I would not be making this video. But because the spirit of this is, look how the devs are hurting us. That's, you're exactly right, Scarer. It's so funny. That's good. That's why we're talking about this. And we're going to talk, the lie still hasn't been said. We're going to talk about it. Let's rewind slightly.
After they fix everything, and now everyone thinks we've been making a shitload of money in a pocket of space that no one can touch us in? Yeah, and no other player will believe you because it's EVE Online. So, yeah, that sucked. So that was cool to see. And the devs never actually put out a statement about this. They never told anyone that it was broken, so everyone thought we were lying about it, but we weren't, which was cool. So after that economic report came out, we're like...
Should the devs have put out a statement about that? Sure. And again, we're believing his word that they said nothing about it. I don't know if that's the case. I'd have to go through every single news put out by the devs for that many year period. I don't care enough, quite frankly. Here's the reality. The devs don't have to do anything. Okay? They don't have to put out a statement that it's broken. They don't have to do anything. If this area is broken, the players are going to find that out. The players are going to talk about it. And then the players don't have to be in that area because there's a near infinite amount of expanse you can go and do content in EVE Online. Okay? This is just... Is it frustrating? Yes.
Guys, why are people... why are people upset about the Kingdom Come Deliverance gay thing? What's the deal there? First game, the main character wasn't gay at all. Second game, he is suddenly bi. Well, it can just be bi if you want him to fuck a dude. He can fuck a dude. Yeah, Stylo, I don't understand. Do they think there were no gay people no dudes doing gay shit in medieval times? Like, what is even the... Like, there's stuff that I understand. Like, if it's set in medieval Europe or whatever, and you want it to be, like, super accurate, like having black people, sure, I get it, you know. I don't care personally if they want to fucking throw black people in, like, whatever. Like, usually it's a marker that the game's gonna suck if they're doing that shit. But it's like, on principle, I don't really give a fuck. I'm not like a crazy historical accuracy guy. I just don't really care about that stuff. But I literally do not understand for gay shit. Like, there's one gay character you can fuck as a dude. They think the main character's canonically straight. Like, how would that even be expressed in the game? I don't understand. At what point in the first game was there like a scene where the main character is like introspecting on his sexuality and is like, wow, I really just can't find dudes attractive in any way. I just can't imagine myself fucking a dude at all. Like, what is even the claim here? Check the farm for the guy leading the charge against gay people in Kingdom Come Deliverance. Just got outed as a furry who beats his family members. What? Okay, well, what is that? I don't even know if I can pull that up. What that Lucario doing? What the Lucario doing? Okay, no, I can pull that up. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. I don't know if is this docs information that I don't know if I want to look at that. But yeah, I mean, someone was trying to get a domestic violence order against this guy. Domestic violence restraining order.
We're going to keep saying it this video. It's very frustrating to fight for an area of space, then have it be broken. But the entitlement here, like, you don't work at the company, this guy. You know, it's about the spirit of how this video was made. And he's basically taking the devs and just like grinding them and saying, look how terrible they are. Can you believe it? Can you believe how terrible they are?
Criminal reports aren't doxing. That is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Obviously, criminal reports can be doxing. You can use a criminal report to dox someone. You can show a criminal report to, and that discloses person identifying information about the person unnecessarily, depending on the context you do it in. And there's plenty of times where YouTube might action on that.
And this is the problem I have with this, is that the devs don't have to say anything. The devs are not your boss at work. They're not your parent. They're not your buddy. This is a service you're buying. Now, we are more than welcome to give criticism to the game and to say with our voices, hey, this thing is broken. We shouldn't go into the area of space. So, hey, this thing is broken. I guarantee you this was all over Reddit. It's not like nobody knew. There's no way that nobody knew that Pochfin was broken. It was a brand new area of space. So the idea...
Wrong, just completely incorrect. Just completely incorrect. No, doxing is the collection of private information, criminal reports public. Just totally wrong. Google it, literally anywhere. Any doxing statute, any definition that's given, is the collection and publication of personally identifying information for the purposes of harassment. That is just what it is, okay? It's not got anything to do with private. Most doxing happens with public information. Data brokers, white pages, all this shit, fucking collects your information and people search it.
That all of a sudden people found out that Pochfin was a thing. I just don't buy that, okay? Because of how the information is flowing right now in EVE. This was only 3 or 4 years ago. It's not like it was 20 years ago when it just came out. So I don't buy that people just found out that Pochfin was broken and Pochfin is fixed. So, you know, let's keep on listening.
Jesus Christ, we started having to fight battles and it was super annoying, but we got good at it. We managed to close all the...
I wanna... Okay, we gotta rewind that.
Got it, but we weren't, which was cool. So after that economic report came out, we're like, Jesus Christ, we started having to fight battles and it was super annoying, but we got good at it. We managed...
After the economic report, we had to start fighting battles, and that was annoying. We're gonna talk more about that in just a sec. Just put a pin note in that. We're gonna talk more about
close all the wormholes in our area of space because wormholes would open up at random. We could stop people from coming in, and the only other way you could get in was through a filament. Well, every one of these systems that was on our side of space and all around Pochfin would require...
It's all about purpose lapses. Its criminal report is it still as morally wrong as just finding someone's info. Obviously, there's plenty of situations where using someone's personal identifying information is justified because there's like some, you know, public interest justification or something. The point of doxing is that it's the use of that information for the purposes of harassment.
A certain amount of reputation to get through the gate. If you didn't have the reputation, you couldn't get in, right? So you had to use a filament that would teleport you into one of these locations randomly. So you could show up on our store, like on our doorstep, or you could show up in an area where you couldn't get to us. And that was it. And if we controlled our wormholes, you couldn't get to us anyway, so we had a good counterplay. But we had to constantly maintain this sort of behavior. Every day, we had groups. On the minute that that wormhole would spawn, we would roll the wormhole. And this meant absolute regimented behavior. At all times, we had to be on staff. At all times, we had to have a scanner there and a group ready to destroy that wormhole when it spawned. And if we didn't do it, people would get in and kill us. So we got...
Did what you just... EVE players in chat, did what you just heard, does that describe endgame EVE Online life? For nullsec, for some lowsec.
Dude, it's so funny seeing all the far right guys on Twitter. I'm totally like zoning out this video. All the far right guys on Twitter crying about Trump being super pro-Israel now, like beyond anything they thought was possible. Oh my god! Fell free again award. Fell free again award.
And especially wormhole space. Did what he just described, having to defend your borders from people that are coming in to take the ISK areas? Rifter, am I right, dude? Okay. First of all, he's correct. Once Pochfin was once Pochfin was made, the only ways to get into Pochfin was 2 ways. Was the wormholes that would randomly blip in and out of existence. Think of these as opening and closing doors if you're a non-EVE player. Imagine a house, imagine a triangle-shaped house, and every day certain doors would be open and certain doors would be closed. And if you would put enough people through that door, the door would close. That's called rolling the wormhole. If enough mass goes through the wormhole...
Well, for what? Trump never pretends to be anything other than a massive Israel supporter. Yeah, but everyone likes to pretend. They all like to cope themselves and thinking he's just saying stuff to get elected. And then they just listen to right-wing pundits who are like, yeah, if we want to stop the Jays, we got to elect Trump. And then he gets in and it's just like, I think we will occupy Gaza. I think we will annex it. Maybe. I think boots on the ground in Gaza. US boots on the ground in Gaza. Maybe.
The wormhole closes. So what he's saying is that once the MER came out, people started paying attention because there's a bunch of IS to be made in another endgame area. And we had to PvP fight. And we had to defend our borders. Ladies and gentlemen, the spirit he's painting EVE in is a very negative one. And this is my first main problem with this. In EVE Online, you don't deserve and are entitled to nothing, and if you want an area of space, you're going to have to defend it from people that want to take it. That's the game. Look, if you want to play an RTS with your buddies, where you control your borders and you mess with stuff, you can go play Frostpunk. Fantastic game, not besmirching it, not putting it down. I don't know if besmirch is the right word. I didn't finish college, okay? You can go play a single-player RTS with your buddies if all you want to do is manage resources and mess with stuff. But if you're playing EVE... That's a good question, Jack. That's a good question, Jack. If you're playing EVE Online, this is a game of dominance, of corporations, of friendships, and if you're going to say, I live in this space, you're going to have to defend it. And his chat is saying, like, terrible, wow, can't believe that, what WTF? ladies and gentlemen, welcome to EVE Online. You have to defend your borders. That's the way of it. You defend it by PvP fights, and them making it so that now people know how valuable it is since they fixed it is not a bad thing. One more thing. So the EVE devs fixed it, and then they put it out in the monthly economic report. He was saying before, so the area of space was broken, and now that it's fixed, everybody knows about it, and people are showing up. Before, there wasn't a lot of ISK, but now there is, because they fixed it, more or less. So now there's people coming in, you gotta defend your borders. That's part of the game. If you don't want to have to defend the work you put out, you know, there's plenty of other video games you can play. Maybe not World of Warcraft, okay, for this guy.
We got really good at it. We got very good at controlling our area of space, just like any other wormhole corporation would be. And then CCP, the creators of EVE Online, decided to change the rules. And they said, hey, we're going to focus on Pochven for the next entire quarter of the game, which is the next 3 months. We're like, oh shit, they're going to fix some stuff. This is going to be awesome, right? Well, they didn't. They said the first thing we're going to work on is the access to the region. And we were like, that might be...
At the time of this, when all this was happening, this guy was a CSM. What that means is CSM is a Council of Stellar Management, something like that. These are players that the players elect to become representatives to the devs, to CCP Games. He was a CSM at the time. The character name is Mal Davies. You can go look this up, okay? He pushed for more access to the region. Did you hear what I just said? He pushed as a CSM that lives in Pochven for more access to the region. And in this video, he's saying the developers of CCP Games increase the access. I don't understand. If I ask for cheaper bananas from the grocery store and then they give it to me and I complain about the banana, what do you want? I don't understand. So what he's going to say is they removed the rep requirements for these gates, which is not necessarily something he exactly pushed for, but he pushed for increased access to the area. So I don't know why this is... Again, look at the spirit of what he's like describing. It's a negative thing. CCP Games, the creators of EVE Online, didn't fix anything. They just made it easier to get in. If you know anything about EVE Online, the more people can get into an area of space, the more activity, the more people to fight, the more content, the more loot, the more stuff is in space, the more salvaging, the more industry, the more people in an area, the better. This is a good thing. More content is a good thing. That's why it's very concerning that this is the case. It's concerning that this happened, okay? That he was like, you know, doing this and going forward and backwards. So, let's
cool. Yeah, they just removed the reputation requirement on our gates. That was it.
All right, let me rewind so we can tell the full sentence. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, they just removed the reputation requirement on our gates. That was it. Suddenly, anyone in the game, anywhere in space, at any time, could teleport to our home. EVE Online is a game about distance. If you are far away from your opponent, they have inherent defensive capability because it's hard to get to them. We had no defense anymore, at all.
You have a defense, it's called players. I don't know how much this guy played EVE before. I actually don't know. Right, General Pony, you know? He's right, by the way, about this, that a natural defense is distance. But all of a sudden, people can get, right, our gates. You hear that, Jack? You see what's coming out, right? And he, like, it's our area. You don't own anything, dude. You have to defend it, but you don't own it. You know what I'm saying? This is the problem, right? Lapse and Sino. Now, you can't Sino in Pochven. It's not a thing. Sinoing is another thing in low-sec and null-sec, where players that have big ships can blip without the need of a Stargate from system to system within a limited radius. Can't happen in Pochven. So, point is, CCP Game Devs removed the rep access on the gates, which, by the way, is something he pushed for. Now he's blaming them for it. Don't really get that. That's a whole other video, I guess. Then, when this happens, he's saying, boo-hoo, people came into the system and we had to defend it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a new player watching this, I highly recommend, if you're a new player, you mess around in high-sec, which is like the Care Bear area of space.
Kuihman doesn't have cam on because he's fat now. That's my theory. Dude. It's like, I wish I could put on any weight. I wish I could put on any weight. I literally eat like 1 meal a day. It's totally fucked. I'm just like totally retarded. I was going to reply to something else. What was it? Oh, yeah. Everyone thinks the concept of Eve is cool until you actually try to play it. That's why I like the idea of Ash of Creation. Because it seems like that's trying to get a lot of the Eve metagame stuff. But with less dogshit gameplay, you know?
And then you go into either nullsec, wormhole space, or Parchment. I recommend you go to an end game area because you will learn so much about the game. Being in those areas of space, you will absolutely improve as a player. You'll improve because you'll be forced to do some PvP. It doesn't, and that's a good thing. Even if you're an indie player, you're going to be forced on how to avoid a gank. Just because you're not initiating a fight doesn't mean you're not PvPing, right? If all you want to do is just sit in an area in a space game and control your area and not have to fight for it, go play No Man's Sky. And I'm saying that again, not as a put down. No Man's Sky, one of the best games in a decade. Actually, not a hyperbole. Go play No Man's Sky with your buddies. You know, you don't have to like besmirch a game and say that game mechanics are bad and you know, because this is how it sounds.
We had to defend our borders from other players that were they were trying to kill us.
Yeah, this is how it sounds, okay? It's not good because here's why it's not good. This video has 1 million views, okay? 1 million views. This is a lot of people's only view of what EVE Online is. And he's describing it as an administrative nightmare, as a unfun experience. When he chose to stay in the bugged area, when he...
Wait, that's true. That's true. That is what it is.
He didn't be a good leader and lead his people out of area of space, and complains about basics in the game, player versus player action. Goodness gracious, dude.
Oh, people could just teleport to us and kill us at any time. And we went, well, time to have a war. And we had a war every single day for the next 2 months. Now,
like the rest of EVE Online. Like the rest of EVE Online. I don't care if you're in high-sec. If you're in high-sec, you're still going to have to figure out how to defend your borders from high-sec gankers or a specific kind of ganker. Okay, you still have to defend your area. There's ways to do it. So it's a lot of like stuff this is the spirit of it. Stuff happened to us, and there's nothing we can do. Time to, if there's more money in the area, if there was a monthly economic report that just came out that said there's a crap ton of ISK in the area, and...
I'm determined to finish this video now. We have made it. I don't think this picks up in any way. I think it just fucking sucks, but I am determined to finish this video now. We have to hear the whole story.
There's way more fights to be had. That's called...
But it's just crazy to me that he's like this cut up about it. But he's like, PirateSoftware is describing EVE as, and then perfectly describes what EVE is, an administrative, boring nightmare.
Recruitment, dude. It's called recruitment. You can use that to say, hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody, look, there's you saw the MER. The most ISK in the game probably is in Pochven. They fixed the sites. There's a lot of PvP going. We need bodies. We need miners. We need people that are on the belt getting rocks. Relax. Okay, geez Louise, chat. I know Twitch chat. Okay, relax. We need people to help us get materials. We need people to help us with industry. We need people.
That wasn't what happened. Instead, it looks like what happened was from this guy complaining.
While this was going on, remember that one thing that I said with the dread sites that was our only form of income? There was an exploit that was found. The exploit was called seaguling. You could have 15 people in the group, and if you got to 16 people, that 16th person would make it so that all of the money that dropped, because it split evenly between people, wouldn't split evenly anymore. It would drop it by about 50% and then split evenly. So it crashed the shit out of our earnings.
He's right. This was an exploit that was found. They fixed the sites in terms of income and rep. And then an exploit came in, and I agree with you to a point, Flea Harvey. Okay, I'm glad you're here, Flea Harvey. Oh, so, ladies and gentlemen, a current CSM for Pochven is in chat. Give me some 07s for Flea Harvey. It's great to see you, Flea. And we know who you
Chud swept for this guy, by the way. He was like really enjoying this guy unironically.
Actually are. Thank you very much for that. So, listen, this is the real talk, chat. Was it an exploit or not? I think you've seen that the way he's describing things tends to go towards the negative. So if I hold up an apple and I say, what's this? And he goes, oh, it's a bitter red fruit. Maybe don't listen to how this guy describes the game if he is so negative about this. And this...
Yeah, this is what Sweepers pretended anyone covering WoW, the WoW stuff was like. 100% that is true. Absolutely, that's true. Guys, should we watch Pepsi's State of Play stream?
This is why I'm trying to make this video. We're correcting history, chat. I'm going to talk about that in just a sec. Okay, so this is an exploit that did happen. It was very frustrating. They were talking about it with the devs. It wasn't being, the site wasn't being done as intended. Let's put it that way, and let's keep listening.
Player found out that if they go to the gate, which is kind of like the portal to the entrance of the dungeon, and shoot it, and then cloak up and fly away, they could then sit there cloaked until the NPC boss would say, I'm gonna die, and then they would just uncloak and they would count as the 16th player. When they removed the reputation standing for the gates, there were dozens of alts in every one of our runs. We went from making millions of ISK per player to thousands of ISK per player, which is the in-game currency. It destroyed us, so we started reporting.
Do you see the lack of, like, accountability? The sites are broken. CCP Games fixes it. Okay. The sites are fixed. Now there's ways that players have found to play around it. So instead of them saying, now we have to gank the other alts, we have to come up with a system to get rid of the 16th player, right? We have to, there's so many ways to trap people in EVE. You can use warp bubbles. You can have, you can have one of your alts sitting there ready to go to kill off that other guy. Keep de-incentivizing the people from doing this thing. And who cares if you make less ISK if you keep on de-incentivizing them? If I sat down for like a day and had this problem, we could come up with...
When is the Civ 7 early access? Is anyone getting in on that? Is anyone getting on the Civ 7 early access? I'm thinking about it. I'm considering it.
Some solution and get out and test. But do you see, and I'm going to read something in chat because you're totally correct. Jack says he's portraying everything that happened was an intentional and malicious attack on him. That's what I'm talking about. So, has it not been fixed? I don't know, Brian. I have to go check it. But, like, point is, my alliance lives in Ponchfin now. We do OBS all the time. We have no problem. We PvP, we fight for what we have to. There's none of... We don't need to worry about this. Okay? Right, bubble the gates. There's so many. It has been fixed. It was fixed years ago. There it is. So, and flee...
I don't like Monster Hunter. What's Night Rain? What's Night Rain? Guys, this is just like a general gaming segment now, okay? We're gonna try and... Oh, the fucking gay... Oh, God. Ugh. Ugh. Gross.
Lee Harvey is a current CSM in Podfin, so I would listen to him. So, chat, I wish no ill will on this guy. I really don't. I just want to correct a malicious lie that has been perpetrated that EVE is bad. That's the first lie. Because again, this video is many people's introduction to EVE Online, and it's just not true. Something that did happen, but has been misinterpreted in the public eyes in a negative light.
Reporting this to EVE, like to CCP. We had over 300 reports in. We did this for months, and CCP never responded to it. So, with all of this going on, with the game...
Ladies and gentlemen, you know, listen. Remember I said you're entitled to nothing? You are not a game developer. This dude, not a game developer. So if you report something, you are not entitled to a response back. Would it be nice to, like...
Is it live now? Is the Civ 7 thing already live? I think it's live here, yeah. It's 90 quid. Dude, I've played Monster Hunter. I've played a decent amount of Monster Hunter. I played a bunch of what is it, Wilds or whatever. I played Wilds and World. Not, or is Wilds a new one? Rise, is it? Do I mean Rise? Yeah, I've got, it says on my Steam, now obviously this is inaccurate, I AFK'd a bunch. But it says on Steam I've got 184 hours in Rise. That is grossly inaccurate, obviously. I probably put like 50, at least 50 hours in. Let's say bare minimum 50. Of active playing. I put a decent amount into Wilds as well. Wild. People say, all the Monster Hunter fans tell me Rise was better than Wild. I thought. Is that just wrong? They're just like, I don't like the gameplay style of it at all, I think. Like the gear upgrading, I don't find particularly fun or satisfying. I prefer like loot stuff, you know? I want to get a cool sword from killing some boss. I don't like the just grinding for mats and then making shit. That's not very fun to me, just initially, and that's like a core part of the game. It's just like enjoying the progression of grinding mats. It's not the same at all. No. It's not just an extra step. It's totally, it's totally different. It's like the whole game is built around going and fighting the monsters that you need to get the mats and killing them in specific ways to make sure you get the right mats. That's like the core of the game. You sound autistic. There's no way to talk about video games without sounding autistic. Let's just say, oh yeah, I like FIFA. I like COD. Doing specific ways. In Monster Hunter, you get like specific mats by, you know, like slicing the tail off or whatever. You'll get like the tail from the monster. I just don't find it particularly fun. And then the whole instance thing, I don't think Wild is like this. I think Wilds is like this either. But like in Rise, the whole like instance thing where it's like, pick which hunt you want to go on. Like it's just fucking lame. It's like Wild's like that too. They're all like that. Yeah, I hate that. I hate that whole setup of like going to base, selecting your fucking hunt and going on the hunt. I hate all like the traps shit and the barrels shit. It's not as essential as you might think, but I get it. Whatever you're saying is fucking retarded, dude. You've just outed yourself as completely retarded on this topic. It is a core part of Monster Hunter that you kill the fucking monsters in specific ways to get different drops. That is a core mechanic to Monster Hunter. If you do not know that and utilize it, you are not playing the game properly. Yes, I make a full-time income. Somehow. He's cut the tail to get a tail drop. Haven't heard anyone express concern about it before. Yeah, I don't know why anyone would even question that. You just don't know the game if you're saying otherwise. What a crazy thing to argue with.
Hey. Scene.
No, well, it's not actually like that. It's not actually that core to the game. I actually, you just misjudged this game, and you should actually just play it again because I'm a fucking total insane sycophant for this fucking franchise, like every fan of it.
Sure. But you don't need to get anything back. You're not, and I'm saying you as like collective you, like including myself. You are not a, part of the internal team. You don't get to dictate.
Seriously, Monster Hunter fans actually are some of the most annoying motherfuckers going. Can we just be real about this? No one says it. No one says it. But they are some of the most annoying motherfuckers in the world.
Timings of things. So saying we had hundreds of reports and we all reported for months and they didn't say anything to us. Yeah, you're not entitled to like them talking to you, dude. You're just a player. Now, I'll play devil's advocate. This is all very frustrating stuff. What should he have done?
It's not still too niche. It's like giga popular. And Monster Hunter is as popular as it will ever be. Worlds and Wilds, this next one will be as popular as it ever is.
Play another game. Probably should have gone to gone to other things. Gone on to other areas of space. Instead of, you report the bug, you move on. The goal of a video game is enjoyment. And if you are in an area of space that is broken, that the sites are being exploited by other game mechanics, whatever. Time to go into another area of space. Saying I reported it and my alliance
very similar to FromSoft fans. They are very similar.
We had hundreds of reports over months, and they never said anything. First of all, I just don't believe that because after working with EVE Online devs myself, it might take like a month, maybe, to work with their GM team, but they'll get back to you. I just got done working with one, and it took them a little bit of time, I'm not going to lie to you, but they got back to me when they were ready to get the ticket. We as players...
People just hate good games. I agree. DMC5 is incredibly underrated.
There's a push and pull here, okay? Let's talk about this in a healthy way. We as players enjoy the service that the developers have made. We enjoy it, and we choose to put our time and effort and our attention into, I'm talking real macro stuff here, chat, into games that we enjoy as a community. If the devs are doing things that we don't like, we don't have to play the game. The power's with us. The money is with us, okay? So if the devs are doing something you don't like, report it and keep moving. When it becomes a problem is when you're so invested in a game, in a system, that you feel entitled to the attention and the needs of the developers. I don't care if you're the richest person in EVE Online that has been playing since day one, if you have 5 trillion ISK, or you have a Python with a bunch of kill marks, right, Drake? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. You're still not entitled to developer time. You see this all the time on Twitter where like there'll be a change to like the game and people will tag the devs on Twitter and like send them mean things and like, anybody sending threats to somebody over a video game is a small person, chat. They literally need help. They actually need to go out and touch some grass. We all agree, any normal person agrees, getting that worked up about a video game is just bad. You need to go. And chat, I'm in therapy now. Okay? Therapy's great. Really awesome. It helps to talk to a neutral third party and work through some of the stuff you're going through because, the people that are sending these violent things to the developers, it's just evil. There's no other way to put it. It's just wrong. That's the same kind of entitlement we're seeing displayed here, but at a way worse thing. But that kind of stuff starts here, where it's my Stargates, my area of space. We submitted tickets for months and they didn't talk to me. You're not entitled to anybody's attention, dude, okay?
game mechanics being changed to be against us, with them not fixing any of the exploits. I called it, and I said, enough is enough, guys. We've been fighting every day for months. This is bullshit. The devs aren't listening to us. It's time to burn it down. And we did. We burned our own home to the ground. We actually linked up with all the other Triglavian alliances in the game that were smaller than us, and we destroyed everything.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the lie. We have arrived at the lie.
The big lie.
Correct. The rest of this is tone and spirit of what he's saying. We've arrived at the lie.
Lloyds. I called it, and I said,
I called it.
There it is, dude.
I called it.
There it is, dude.
Wait, let me say it like him.
I called it.
No,
there
he didn't.
It is.
No, he didn't. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the lie. I have first-hand knowledge. Pirate Software was not the person that called it. Just to be clear, he did. His alliance was one of the big three Parchment alliances at the time, and his alliance did burn down the structures in the area as protest with the other alliances. That did happen. This is a very cool story. That this did happen in protest of the devs and of the problems in Parchment. The players destroyed their own structures so that they didn't have to deal with constantly repairing them and repping them and reffing them, as these are EVE terms, okay, and protecting them. Because the area of space was broken, so the whole triangle, all the big alliances decided, hey, we're going to burn these down. The lie is that Pirate Software decided to do it. That I called it.
with all of this going on, with the game mechanics being changed to be against us, with them not fixing any of the exploits, I called it. And I...
No, he didn't. And you might say, Loru, sounds like they all kind of decided. I have first-hand knowledge.
This could have been a 10-minute fucking video of this guy explaining that PirateSoftware was not the one who made this cool.
People ideated this. Other people decided it and were already burning down their structures.
Why is this 47 minutes?
When PirateSoftware's Corp saw that this was going on, he started talking to him, and then he decided to do it with his Alliance and Corp. He decided nothing. This is important because this game is about the stories.
Yeah,
this
make
game
a
is
tweet,
about the
buddy.
players. And by saying in a video with 1 million+ views to these people that will never play EVE Online, he's effectively taking away the onus and the authority of all the other players that were actually in the area doing what they were doing. Okay? Why it's important who decided it, Brian?
Yeah, my streams are filled with epic, funny quips. Okay? That's what you come to my stream for, as Card Posting said. You come here for quips. I'm a quipper. Okay? Where are the funny fucking quips here? All he has is bass boost microphone and act retarded.
It wasn't him. It's a revisionist version of history that makes himself look more important. That makes himself look tall. When he wasn't even the guy who thought of the idea. This is the first lie, okay? This is the first problem with this. That if you're going to be standing on the shoulders of giants to make yourself look tall, then man, you better tell the truth. The reality is this. This guy used the stories of others in this instance to make himself look bigger, okay? We're not saying we're not going to hold the devs to their mistakes. We're not saying we're not going to do something and that you shouldn't burn down the area. I think this is a pretty cool story, and because of the, call it lack of attention of the developers, I think we can say that for fair, that was happening. The entire area decided to burn down their own structures, okay? Saying it was me, I decided, that's the problem. This is the lie.
That's a big problem.
There was plenty of other players.
That's a big problem. I tell you, I'm
the same struggles.
Right now.
He didn't come up with this.
You know,
he didn't start it, but he's taking credit for it. Why? What does the Prophet Cat Williams say? I don't know why liars lie, but they lie. Ladies and gentlemen, the truth is important, and the truth will set you free.
Us. With them not fixing any of the exploits, I called it. And I said, enough is enough, guys. We've been fighting every day for months. This is bullshit. The devs aren't listening to us. It's time to burn it down. And we did. We burned our own home to the ground. We actually linked up with all the other Triglavian alliances in the game that were smaller than us, and we destroyed everything that we owned in the entire region. And no one could ever have it again, because it wasn't replaceable. We burned it to the ground.
It's a pretty cool story, right? Like, think about it like this. What other video game have you ever heard where the players have this kind of onus, have this kind of authority, have this kind of story, right? I can't really think of that many. Like, maybe Ashes of Creation, but that's still, what is it, Alpha, Beta? Anyway, I don't really follow the game. How he's describing this is that he's some mastermind that like came up with this big bad plan, and then everybody else followed suit. That's how this feels and sounds, and that's not what happened. He was the guy that followed.
As a protest. And it worked. It worked really well. Everyone took notice, we left that area of space, and we went back out into high-sec space. And then new players moved into...
I'm sorry. High sec. More your speed, Pirate Software? Don't gotta defend those border, do you? Let's go. Look, if you guys wanted to do that, why did you just go there, right? Just go to high sec. Why we gotta do this rigmarole, you know? Sheesh, dude.
Podchman, and they had to live out at NPC stations. You know what they did? They reported the same goddamn vulnerability that we did. The same exploit. And you know what CCP did? They said, I thought that was just a Strybog problem.
All right, I gotta rewind this, because here we go to the second lie.
The same goddamn vulnerability that we did.
I gotta go back further.
And then new players moved into Podchman, and they had to live out at NPC stations. You know what they did? They reported the same goddamn vulnerability that we did. The same exploit. And you know what CCP did? They said, I thought that was just a Strybog problem. All
right, Strybog is their alliance. I don't believe this happened. I believe that more players joined the area and started reporting the exploit more. That I believe. I don't believe the devs said, I thought this problem was only specific to this alliance. Here's why. He's one of 3 alliances, big alliances. There's other ones, but there's the 3 biggest ones in the area. You're telling me that only your alliance was reporting that bug? No. Publicly available information says that's literally incorrect. There have been podcasts and Talking in Stations is an EVE Online podcast.
Yeah, no, I'm back.
Where they had the 3 heads.
Hey, yeah, I'm not watching any more of this. Fuck this video. Oh, well, we're 5 minutes from the end. Fuck it, we'll finish it. We'll finish the fucking video. We gotta finish it. We gotta finish it.
Do I have this video?
Let's get to the end.
I have it here for you. In this video, I'll link it in chat for you.
Let's do this shit.
There's the 3 Podchman Alliance heads at the time, and this is from 3 years ago. You're going to see that all 3 of them are frustrated. Opus 072, what's up, buddy? All 3 of them are frustrated. All 3 of them have been reporting this. Opus actually very correctly gets very upset about the seagulling and about what's going on because it was very frustrating. So again, the line is, my alliance has been reporting stuff. My alliance has been ignored. Nobody, and the devs aren't listening to us. And then once a bunch of new players join the triangle, then they fix it. Ladies and gentlemen, if they put out a monthly economic report saying that the area is lucrative, this is going to pull in a crap ton of more people to the area. Okay? Those people are going to give a report about an exploit. If there's a problem that keeps subsisting, the amount of reports are going to increase. So if there's 300 reports versus over here, there's a bug with 5,000, the devs are going to work on the 5,000 bug.
We get it, man.
Which was our guild.
No,
and then they fixed
I'm lying.
it.
I can't make it to the end of the video. I'm sorry. I literally can't do it. This fucking sucks, bro.